Okay, we're on the home straight now. We've got one part left to make, and then I'm going to do another second video on doing all the joints and things like that. So let's get underway with this one. This is basically the, I'm not sure what part you'd call it, but the handle maybe, which goes through here, winds into this section and pulls this forward. So again, what we're going to do is we're going to create a new part. So we're going to do a new part. Make sure your demo device is selected. Click on create, new component. And we're going to call this part 3. Because this is the third one we've done. I'm not sure why I've got 2 part 4s in my browser over here. But anyway, so that should be part 4. The end one should be part 5 actually, so let's just quickly rename that. Part 5. There we go, there should be 5 parts to the model. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to put our last part into all of this. So we want to create a side view of our item, but we want to put it centered into something. So what we're going to do is we're going to select this plane here. We're going to do an offset of -15 to make it in the middle, and we're going to go OK, and then we're going to go to sketch, and we want to sketch on that plane. So essentially what we're doing is we are now, if I click on slice, you can see that we're going to be drawing our shape that's going to be centered to the other part. And you can also pick up a mistake that I've made here earlier, where I've done my screw threads underneath here, and they've gone too far, so they're actually coming, well, they're not coming into that, but you can see that on either side that's where the screw threads are, so that's okay. Alright, so we're looking at making this shaft that's going through here. What I'm going to start to do is I want to try and see whether I can find a center line here. There it is there's our midpoint. So I want to draw a line going out. We're going to do the full distance of what we need to do, which is 80. So let's draw our line 80. Press enter. And I'll just zoom out a little bit and bring this across so we get all of it in. And then what we're going to do is press X on our keyboard, select our line, and then press X, and that turns it into a construction line. So this basically is the center of what we need to do, which is going to work well. We're going to go back to our line tool, click our starting point. We need to come up 5 millimeters because when that rotates it'll make a diameter of 10. So specify that. Then we're going to come along, and the next line that we need to do is 48. And then press enter. Now from our 48 point, this is where we've got a little radius in there. Some people may have found this a little bit hard. So what we're going to do, let's zoom in on this a little bit. We're going to draw a circle. Oops, got the wrong one. Center circle diameter. Now you should be able to mouse over that line. You can see it gives you a little line to line up with. So I know the center point of my circle is lined up with the other one. And then what we're going to do is that we need to specify a diameter of 3. Now obviously if we have a diameter of 3, then half that is the radius, which makes the radius of 1.5. So there we go, diameter 3. So we've got our circle there. We need to use our coincident constraint to join our circle to the end point. So we're going to snap that to that. And we know that we've got everything lined up. Now we're going to continue on from that. So we've got a straight line, which is going to, again, we can mouse over this and bring it across. So we know that that's where our next point is starting. Okay, it's all lining up. Not sure what the next part is. So we're just going to rough this in. So we've got a little straight part. It then comes up. and this is going to be, so if that's 5, it needs to come up 2 millimeters there. Enter on that, get your line tool, and I'm going to grab that and bring that across 3 millimeters. Then we're going to go up 3 millimeters, so back to our line tool again. Type in 3, enter, and then grab from there across 20. Make sure it's obviously straight. Oops. What is that? 20. That'll do. Then we should be able to come down to the middle point. So from there, back down to our dashed line, which should be 10. Okay. Now, remember I said that I didn't know what the length of this line was in here. So we've defined all these other measurements in here, but we haven't defined that one. So what we should be able to do is go okay to snap, get out of the line tool. We want to snap this line to this point because the length of that is right. So let's see if we can get this to work. So we want to snap that to that point there. Now, it did snap it to that point, but it's moved into here. So what we need to do is say, okay, this line and this line are perpendicular, and we're not getting very far with this. So let's undo all that again. And we've undone all those things and our snap. So let's try putting that perpendicular constraint in first. That's better. So that holds that together. And we could go there. And we could go there. So essentially we're telling the computer and the program that all these things are all right angles. We don't have, it's over constrained, so we don't need that. Now let's try and see whether we can snap this to that again. No, and it's blowing that out. Okay, undo that. And we can put a dimension in there. So we know that this is going to be 5. Enter, so that shouldn't allow that to move up. Let's try this again. Oh, there we go. It's moved it all along, but it's got it in the right spot. So you can see everything stayed square then. We've still got our 80 as our measurement, so that's worked. You move the 80 along, but that's no biggie. It's still where we need it to be. So what we could do is we should be able to then grab any of this geometry or lines, and technically we should be able to move it and it should all stay together. Okay. So now what we've done is we've pretty much got our shape. We need to draw a solid line across the bottom, like that. And you can see the shape shaded in then. And we're going to now make sure that this is, we're going to revolve that and turn this into a 3D sketch. So I'm going to go stop sketch. And I forgot to do one more thing, which was to trim out that little bit of a line there. So let's just edit that sketch quickly. Edit sketch. Go to sketch, trim, and trim that out. We don't want that top bit, we just want it to go like that. Okay, stop sketch again. Go to create, revolve, select our profile, select the axis, which is this bottom line here. Our angle is 360 degrees, so we want it to go all the way around. It's going to be a new body. Click on OK, and there's our rough shape. We've got 3 chamfers to put on here, all of 1 millimeter. So we're going to go chamfer, select this edge. We're going to select this edge and this edge, so it should say 3 edges, and they're all 1 millimeter. And click OK. The next is that we're going to put a thread on this, so we're going to go to create, thread, and we're going to select that face. And if it doesn't let us select a face, there's normally an issue associated with that. Now, most times what it is that there's a taper or something like that on there. Maybe because of the chamfer on the end. So what we can do is we can actually move our timeline back. So we haven't deleted our chamfers, we've just moved one step ahead. So let's see whether we can put the thread on there now. It still won't let us put the thread on there. Yeah, that lets us do the threads with all these other pieces. So I'm guessing that there is some sort of problem wrong with this, that they're not parallel. So let's go back into our sketch. Go edit sketch. And what we're guessing is that this line and our sketch line aren't parallel. There's something going on there. So there must be some sort of angle. So we've done those as parallel. We could have also done a perpendicular to say this line and this line should be at 90 degrees. It's come up with the error message that was saying it's over constrained, so we shouldn't need that. So let's go stop sketch. Hopefully that's then fixed the revolve. So let's try our thread again now. Now you can see that the face goes white. So it's letting us select it. Let's try it with our chamfer back on again. So we just cancel this and move our timeline back over. Go back into our thread command. You see it still selects it. So now we can get our thread. Now our thread is only meant to go 44 millimeters along the shaft. So this was 48 all up. We needed to go 44. So what we're going to do is tick off the full length, because we don't want it the full length. We want it to go from there, and you can see so far we've got a length of 10. So we want to change that and make that 44. And it goes all the way up to there. We can do modeled. And we go OK. M10 at 1. And just check it. We don't want a 1.5. We want a 1. Go OK. And there's our part. So if we go back to Demo Vise, click on the Activate component. So we see all of them together. And there's our 5 parts. The next video is going to look at putting all those parts together. So at the moment, we've got all of our parts here, but they're not constrained. So if I was to grab any of those, you can see that they all move around. So nothing's constrained. So our next video, we'll go into that. And that's it.